All right, welcome to the Brain Box, and this is a live call analysis of a recent call that involves a notary who we were looking to give assignments to. Now, just to set this up for context, when we called this notary, what we're trying to do is respond to people who were reaching out on Thumbtack. Again, just for the scenario, for the background information, prior to making the phone call, this is what we were discussing. So one of the clients that we were working with had some issues with Thumbtack. And as you know, Thumbtack is a pay per click or pay per lead service. So basically means anybody who reaches out to you, you pay for them. And it should make sense because these are people who are looking for specific actions to take place. It's as if you were looking for a TV to be mounted into your house, or you're looking for someone to repair your dishwasher. This is something that's not necessarily an emergency, but it's very urgent and is time sensitive. So you want something to be done quickly. So people on Thumbtack are this characteristic of client. They're not tire kickers. They're not searching for the lowest price. They're basically trying to get it done as quickly as possible. And that's what Thumbtack, the platform, provides. So one of our clients was having some issues with people who were reaching out to Thumbtack. And after using some of our strategies, they were able to understand that the competition, it's not as intimidating as you would perceive it to be, but it's important that you do the basics, the fundamentals, such as answering the phone. And again, when you're dealing with a different demographic of client, then it's important that you recognize that you approach them in that manner. So we looked up a notary that was in her backyard, and we did it on Thumbtack. And this was a live demonstration as to how notaries, especially the ones who are inexperienced in terms of handling calls and then also facilitating business. They might be great technicians and great at the actual stamping and the notary laws and all that, but that's not relative to, or it's not important when it comes, it's not as important as it comes when it comes to getting the client. The actual stamping of the document is always a high level, but what about the business acumen that allows you to close deals and get yeses from people? So we did this experiment. We do this often just to demonstrate how, with a little bit of training, a little bit of background skill, you can actually do very well because you increase your closing ratio. You increase the amount of times that you can get a confirmed yes and secure an appointment, per thousands or per hundred, however many times people reach out to you, you can increase the amount of appointments that you can get confirmed. It's really about understanding that this person who's reaching out to you, especially if you're coming from Thumbtack or Google or some other site or some other word of mouth or whatever, but you can get, when you understand that when this comes from a place like Thumbtack, especially when you pay for the lead, that you have to approach them in that manner. So we wanted to demonstrate how important it is, and the way we demonstrate that is by calling other notaries and seeing how they lack in this arena. Again, we used her own zip code, looked at a notary in her own backyard, and we called them. And this is what ensued. So we're going to do a call analysis. We're going to break down what went wrong or what they did and how they could fix their mistakes. But let's listen to how this person, they're not capable of closing the deal. And when you take an approach such as this person, which is what most notaries do, they commonly take this approach, then you can lose more clients. But when you actually are a little bit, when you're skilled at this, and you could easily increase your activity and actually be more satisfied. So let's listen to it. Let's hear his process. Hi, good morning. Is this notary? So already he doesn't answer the phone like a professional. So immediately you lose them off the top because we don't understand who we're calling. They haven't been identified themselves. And then we have to ask the first question.
We're a mobile notary service, so we come to you.
Great. I was looking for a letter to get notarized.
Okay, where are you located?
I have a client who's in Nassau County.
Where in Nassau County?
So like the first question, he asked about location, where are you located? Because that's a good question. It's always relative to how can we get to you, because it is a mobile service. I live in Hicksville. I'm their attorney, but I don't have their specific address. Okay.
Okay, so Hicksville would be $75 for the trip, and then $2 each to re-notarize.
So if you listen to what his response was, I'm explaining to this person, first I've identified myself as the attorney who's representing my clients. And then and he asked where in the county do they live, which is an appropriate question because you want to know the city, you want to know how far you have to travel. So I say Hicksville, and then immediately he hits me with the price. Immediately he tells me that it's $75 plus $2 per stamp. So $75 for the travel. So at minimum, I'm coming out of the pocket $77. But here's the thing. I haven't explained to him what it is that I'm signing or what it is that I'm doing or what they're doing. So he just says $75 minimum plus $2 per stamp. He's giving me prices and I haven't yet asked him about the price. So he's offering up information that I have yet to request. Gotcha. And then I just wait for him. So you typically, once you give the price, then, or he gives the price, then he doesn't follow up with anything.
And then $2 each to re-notarize.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So I sit there and I say, okay. And then he goes, okay. He doesn't know what to say next after this. And this is how you talk yourself out of business.
So when do you need this done?
And then he follows up with the next question. When do you need this done? Which is a good question. But then he's already told me what the price is. Again, I told him where I am. I told him who I am. I identify myself. He told me what the price is. Now, again, here's the mistake that many notaries make. It's only 45 seconds into the call, and he's already talked himself out of the business because watch what's going to happen next. He's giving me all this information, and I'm ready to move forward. But then here it goes. I'm going to rewind it just a tiny bit. So let's say it's 45 seconds in. He gives me the price. I'm very happy with the price. I'm satisfied. And then watch what happens. Okay.
Okay. So when do you need this done?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible is not going to work.
See, at first he tells me, yeah, I can travel to Hicksville. It's going to be $75 plus $2 per stamp. And when you need this done, I say now. And he says, I can't do it. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how notaries can easily talk themselves out of business because they haven't disqualified the person yet? So he's basically giving me all this information and it's useless. Now, this is how I know that he's not skilled or trained in this area, but it's something that can be fixed. It's something that can be corrected. He tries to save the appointment now. And this is where notaries, I like to say, they go into damage control. But at this point, it's kind of too late because now they're trying to negotiate or they're trying to bargain with not losing the client now. So now let's watch him as he navigates through damage control now. Possible.
As soon as possible is not going to work today. So I could probably do it. You have to set an appointment time usually. Usually we have.
He says I have to set an appointment time. But that's what I'm calling for, to set an appointment time. And I need it done as soon as possible.
For 24 hours notice. It's like a concierge service.
And then he says this I need 24 hours of preparation. It's like a concierge service. So we know that's total BS because if I set it for 4 o'clock, which is not 24 hours, then you can do it. So you're making up things on the spot. And this, again, you're lying to your clients. You're not introducing yourself and you're not prepared. So this is we're talking ourselves out of business. This is the wrong approach to take. And this is why you can easily lose clients.
Set an appointment time usually. Usually we ask for 24 hours notice. It's like a concierge service. Might be able to do it later today if possible, but probably better off tomorrow if you can.
Okay, yeah. So these are VIP clients of mine. So it tells me I can do it later on, possibly, or you have to do it tomorrow. And I told him we need it as soon as possible. These are VIP clients. So listen to my response. Okay, yeah. So these are VIP clients of mine. And I'm going to try to get this done today while the husband is in town. Looks like they're going to be traveling pretty soon.
Okay. We can do it later today, like around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay. And does the charge still stay the same? So I tell them that this is a very important client of mine and we're going to try to do it today. And he says, we can do it later on. And by the way, just for context, this is about 8:30, 9:30 in the morning, West Coast time. So it's probably around noon, East Coast time. And so I'll tell them, we have to get this done as soon as possible. And this is a lot of time. This is what your clients are telling you. When people call you, every I can't emphasize this enough. Every appointment is urgent and time sensitive. But when you tell people, oh, I can't do it until like, later on and maybe tomorrow, then you've already lost them. That's why they're going to go and seek it somewhere else. Most likely people go to the UPS store, and that's how you lose clients in the UPS store. So let's listen to what his response is. He says, and does the charge still stay the same?
Charges are still the same, yeah.
Okay. So whether I need it today or tomorrow, the charge still stays the same. Another way that people talk themselves out of business. All right. Now, the husband, he's got a Canadian passport. Would that be okay? So I asked him about the Canadian passport, but before he answers that question, I want you to think about how you disqualify the client first, and then you determine whether or not you can help them. But rather than offering them information I never asked about, because now I'm working with this $75 information and how I can get this done.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
Fine.
So the Canadian passport thing is okay.
Shouldn't be an issue.
All right. I'm going to reach out to my client and make sure I'll confirm their timing, and I'll reach back out to you.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Thanks.
So he lost the client. I told him I'm going to reach back out to my client and confirm that they can do this or not. So what he effectively does is lose a client, because this is exactly what happens when people call him and they say, hey, I need something done now. And then he says, I can't do it. All right. So when you take an approach of a notary public or notary signing agent, these are the results that you're going to get when you have these private requests. But when you take the approach of a notary business owner, notary entrepreneur, then the approach is effectively flipped. In other words, you secure the client and then you worry about whether or not fulfilling it and satisfying the client, satisfying the appointment later on. And this is an approach that's very distinct and very different than what you would naturally think of as a notary public. Oftentimes, when you start in this industry, then it's really a lazy approach to operating. And what people will do is they'll try to get by very cheap and try to cut corners. And you end up happening is you get these results that are shortcutted. Now, when you take the approach of a notary business owner and you invest into this operation, in other words, you invest into the ability to secure more clients. That means your calls, that means your sales processes, that means that your operation is functioning. And then all these calls that you get, it's not a problem of whether or not you can secure them. And at that point, the only issue that companies in this position have is whether or not we can absorb more clients and we can take on more marketing, and then we can increase our advertising and we can definitely accept more clients. But until you have all of these situations in place, you'll continue to get these results where people will call you with high paying clients, with law firms and organizations that need your services, and they're willing to pay it, but you can't close them. You have a hard time getting the clients to confirm. So a part of the BlueSeal Notary um, advertising program, what we do is not only get your name in front of the clients, but we help you with the sales process. We help walk you through this entire process to get more clients. So not only are more people getting in front of you, but you're able to secure more deals. You're able to increase your closing ratio because we give you specialized training on how to walk clients through these steps. So that way they can end up being satisfied. And it's a win-win-win situation all around. You get more clients, they get their appointments taken care of, and they get that confirmation, they get that peace of mind that this is going to be handled professionally. So this is what I would expect for any organization that's looking to grow and solidify their business. Again, we found this person off of Thumbtack. That means that since we found him, he paid for us to contact him. So whether it's $5, $11, or $6, you pay every time somebody reaches out to you. And if you can't securely close a deal, then I can see how you can be less confident in implementing some of these strategies. But that's why not only do we put the client in front of you onto Google through paid advertisements, but we also help you on a weekly basis confirm more of these deals. You take on more training so that we, as specialists in the notary industry, we know what they're looking for. We can help you get comfortable and get confident with closing these deals. So a part of the program involves it's required that if you need sales calls training, that we help you with that, and we give you highly specialized, highly targeted help with closing the specific type of clients that we go after. It's a great win-win-win all around, and there's really no downside in terms of how many deals you can close. It's just how many can you absorb and how many are you ready to take on. Please contact us if you want more information at bluesealads.com. bluesealads.com. I'll put the link below.